us for the first time in 2019, and here he comes.
Dr. Lou, Dr. Lou, that's Dr. Lou, Dr. Lou. The doctor will see you now.
Oh, he's walking over to the drum set.
What's he doing?
Dr. Lou's on the drum. Started. That's fantastic.
Good night.
Hello, goal and groin. Guys, I've been clamoring to ride some airwaves with a pair of deteriorating, elderly, overweight men.
You're in luck. You've come to the right place.
To be honest, I'm just glad week 0 is over. Guys, have you ever heard that term, week 0?
No.
Week 0?
No.
Florida, Miami, week 0. Portland, Miami, week 0. Guys, I haven't heard that term since George Webby described Adler's jiu-jitsu skills. Oh, goodness gracious. Coming out with a roast. Hey! Serious business, guys. Football season is back, and you know what that means. There's a hurricane coming.
Oh,
that's right, guys. Dorian has her sights set on Florida. This hurricane is no joke. She seems to be taunting the state of Florida. Just taunting the state of Florida. In fact, the latest computer models show Dorian wearing bling on her fingers, shouting, 305, 305, 305. Don't you mess with our zip code up in this mug. We got the Miami Hurricanes winning 7-0 in the second quarter. Guys, I asked former Florida Gator Tim Tebow what he thought about the lack of sportsmanship from the Miami Hurricanes, and he said, and I quote, "Scoreboard."
That's Tebow talking trash.
Scoreboard. Guys, how about Coach Bill Burgess?
Whoa!
Oh, come on, Bill Burgess.
Oh, wow.
Guys, I've got to congratulate him on the huge honor of being inducted into the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame earlier this year. What an achievement. I mean, and what a hard-working legacy he created for the Burgess family with his accomplishments. So successful and such a hard worker. A man with that kind of success and work ethic must be so disappointed with how far the nuts fell from his tree. Oh, goodness gracious. Drop the beat.
Okay.
It doesn't take long for a torch to be dropped.
I'm telling you.
Richard, Gregory, get a job.
Look, he asked me that for a long time. So when you got a job yet? Dad, I'm in radio. No, I'm in a job.
Speaking of nuts falling from trees, how about former Central Michigan wide receiver, now Oakland Raider, Antonio Brown? Guys, Brown has joined the lineage of prima donna wideouts of the past and has filed multiple grievances with the NFL about, of all things, you've heard about it, a helmet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Brown insists on wearing the helmet that he has worn his entire career, but the NFL says that there are now safer, equally comfortable helmets available for his choosing. Well, guys, although he is now practicing with the team, it turns out that Antonio Brown is still very frustrated.
Really?
Did you know this?
Really?
Yes.
No, I see.
Oh, wow.
He has consulted with common sense expert and veteran protester Colin Kaepernick on how to handle this situation.
Oh, no.
And Brown has decided he, too, will protest the NFL in his first game. That's right, guys. To show the NFL just how stupid they are, Brown says he will play the season opener without a helmet. Oh, goodness! No helmet! Look, Ma! No helmet!
That's good.
That's not the only... I thought that was a pretty good line.
I was waiting on Speedy. You got to be the guy. You're the 9
You
guy.
lead us in. You're the
Oh, okay,
stadium
you
guy.
made. I just didn't want to
You're the
overdo
pro.
it. I'll do that.
Every time there's
Okay.
anywhere you had a laugh track, that's when you.
Okay, I'm in now.
That's not the only headline involving Antonio Brown, though, guys. Apparently, a lawsuit has been brought against Brown for not paying nearly $40,000 owed to a celebrity chef, Stefano Tedeschi.
What was it? What was the
Yeah,
name?
give us his name.
Stefano Tedeschi.
Okay.
After a recent meal, $40,000 on one meal. I asked Brown how in the world he racked up such a hefty tab. He told me, and I quote, "It was easy. I just invited Bill Bubba Bussett." Oh, goodness gracious!
Hey!
Yeah, he cooks. A lot of people
Don't
don't
miss
know.
his face.
A lot of people don't know he cooks succotash.
Was it Cook?
Succotash. Guys, that may be a Guinness Book of World Record for how much somebody ate. Somebody give me 10 grand.
Yeah.
You don't remember that. That's okay.
Okay, sorry, buddy.
The judge is getting 10 grand for the judge or whatever.
Okay, but look,
All right, guys.
you got to be careful when those lines.
Hit
I
it,
mean,
Speedy.
yeah.
Early onset.
Fail. Guys, speaking of Guinness Book World Record, have you heard of the name Daniel Falil? Daniel Falil is a sophomore right tackle for the Minnesota Gophers and standing at 6'9", 400 pounds.
Hey.
Falil is the biggest player in college football. Most folks are very impressed by his size, but not Donald Trump. When asked about Falil, the president said, and I quote, "That guy's got a serious weight problem. Go home, start exercising."
Speedy's gonna hurt his the
Last night I had no voice.
Did y'all see that clip for real?
Yes, yeah,
I
we
did.
did. We did.
Rick and Bubba, how about the LSU Tigers? I'm not sure y'all saw this in the news recently, but LSU football unveiled its state-of-the-art $28 million locker room to the team, leaving players speechless with its LED-lined lockers and individual sleeping pods. Honestly, guys, it feels more like a party pad than a locker room, which is what LSU athletic director Joe Olivo wanted. He wanted it to feel like a party pad. And when I went to him, he responded, and I quote, "We wanted a fun, comfortable environment where our players could lounge and watch Alabama in the SEC championship game."
That's good.
Yo, Coach Joe, this SEC viewing party is dope. Pass the Doritos.
Okay. How do we really say that? Go Tigers.
Speaking of the SEC champs, I'm not sure you guys heard, but Alabama head coach Nick Saban underwent hip replacement surgery this offseason.
Yep, I heard about that.
He told doctors that Dabo spanked his hiney so hard in January that it totaled his hip. Oh, spank that honey. Da-da-da-da-da. Hey, spank the honey.
Wish I knew Lou's email address right now.
Doctors acknowledged the trauma Saban experienced from the beatdown. For treatment, they recommended Nick stay off of his feet and off of the ACC network. Dadgummit! Hey! Bust the line!
Oh, on it.
It's early in the year. Everybody drops
That
one.
would have been good too.
Drop the punt. I'm used to that. Real talk, guys. This is uncharted territory for the Alabama football program, as very few teams have competed with the college football juggernaut over the last decade, this Alabama Crimson Tide, especially those teams coached by proteges of Nick Saban. Have you guys heard this? Did you guys know that former Saban assistants are 0-16 versus Saban? 0-16
Right.
versus Saban as head coaches. 0-16, that's just crazy. You can imagine the sadness that these coaches are feeling. Well, when I went to ask Saban about why all his former assistants are crying, he responded, "Because they just got dunked on."
Why assistants crying?
That's good.
Moving across the state.
Speedy, there was your key right
Well, I didn't want to overdo it.
Right.
His head hurts.
Moving across the state to the loveliest village on the plains, the Auburn Tigers are looking to rebound from an underwhelming 2018 season where they struggled to score enough points. The Tigers come into 2019 with renewed optimism as Gus Malzahn takes over play calling duties. You guys heard this? With freshman phenom Bo Nix, the son of former Auburn quarterback Pat Nix, under center.
Go ahead and get your swig of water. After that.
Tough, okay. It didn't have to be that intense. But I'll tell you,
No wonder you know I have a throat.
Guys, well, I went to catch up with Gus about his strategy for the offense this year for the Auburn Tigers, and he told me the playbook has received quite a makeover, saying, and I quote, "Last year, our offense looked like Kelly McGillis, but this year, it'll look like Tom Cruise." Oh, goodness gracious. That is awful.
Good night alive.
ugly.
Top Gun. Set. Hike.
Oh, that's good.
Speedy right there.
Speedy right there.
Speedy, that's a good time. To
Running late. Week 0.
Speaking of Auburn, this will be the last story, guys. Speaking of Auburn, there has been quite an uproar recently regarding a redesign of the university's primary AU logo. Most fans wouldn't even notice the minor modification, which involved closing up 2 tiny gaps between the A and the U. However, many diehard traditionalist fans, that's a tough word to say, the traditionalist fans have petitioned the change.
Oh, wow.
In response, university officials have released a statement regarding the logo edit in hopes of relieving the tension. It reads as follows. This is a statement from Auburn University, just reading it verbatim. "Dear Auburn family, we now recognize the level of ownership you took in the university's logo. Although we underestimated the importance of the tiny holes in your U, rest assured, we will never touch the big hole in your A."
Oh, goodness gracious.
In the world. Wow.